Instagram Live. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is May 20th, 2020, episode 454. And I hope everybody's having a good morning. In my live last night on Instagram, had somebody from Tajikistan. I don't know if they're on here this morning, but pretty amazing. Pretty cool to be able to go to places that I used to have business in 16 years ago, 15 years ago, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, all of these different places. But first time I ever really had a conversation with somebody from there. So pretty cool. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. As you get started this morning, if you go ahead and send out your 3 messages of joy, of gratitude, of love, that would be awesome. And yeah, great to have you here. For those of you that might be new, if you're new on the call, drop an N in the chat. Let us welcome you and say, welcome, you're amazing. Let you know that you found a group of people that are just off by a little bit. We call ourselves high energy misfits, and the high energy comes from our desire to want to be in service, our desire to want to take care of ourselves so we can take care of others. But see, that's where we don't quite fit in the taking care of ourselves. So we'll have a good morning this morning. I see some amazing faces on here. Somebody just had a little sip of coffee. That's a pretty special person. Good morning, Evelyn. And now I see a different name on there, but that's okay. We'll find out what that means a little bit later. The Queen of Novella. So good morning, everybody. Welcome. Great to have you all here. Let's see, new here, Jeremy, great, welcome, good to have you here. Limitless, great to have you here. And folks, if you just send some hugs to those folks, wish them a welcome, and we'll get started here. So, a couple of neat things going on right now. Vach's book is getting closer and closer. I saw her working with one of my team members trying to get her poem done. I really like the way it's looking, because when you have that kind of language, sometimes it's important to get the right photo that goes along with it. So yeah, you'll be seeing that here very shortly. What else is going on? Last night had a couple of conversations of people talking about how do they keep themselves in alignment first. How do you get people to do things? How do you keep your team from being needy? I'm going to go over some more of my notes from the weekend, but that was a question. How do you keep your team from being needy? Coming back to ask you for every little bit of advice. If that's something that you'd like to hear about, drop type no need in the chat. If you've got team members that seem to be a little needy, type no need in the chat if you want to hear a couple ideas on how to deal with that. Oh, well, okay then. So one of the ways that you have that conversation, one of the ways that you deal with that is you give them homework. And what I mean by that is somebody comes to you. Here's the first challenge. Listen, this is going to be the tough part. Remember, to all of you, do I have your permission to help? Do I have your permission to make you feel a little uncomfortable? This is going to be the uncomfortable part. The uncomfortable part is the reason that they became needy is you set them up that way. What? Yeah, you kind of set them up that way. Now, you didn't do wrong. You did the best you could, but here's the challenge. Imagine if you had to walk for your kid. Imagine if you had to lift the weights for your students, if you're aerobics instructor, right? Imagine if you had to do the stretching for your Pilates students. Imagine if you had to do the learning for your network marketing students. The challenge is that maybe, quite possibly, you're teaching them to be good at the wrong stuff. A lot of times when we get involved in network marketing, we want to be needed. We need to be needed. I get that. My first year, 20, well, let's see, this year will be 21 years ago. I've been involved in the profession for 22 years. The first 2 years, I really thought it was an arm's reach away from purse snatching. And the only reason that I got involved in the profession was because a lot of my customers, my industrial customers, were getting involved in network marketing. And I figured if I bought their monthly auto ship that I stored in my warehouse, that would help me get the order. And it did. But the challenge is that we might be teaching them the wrong thing. We're teaching them dependence instead of independence. My first year was $80,000. Wait, that's not impressive. Wait for it. $80,000 in debt. I paid for friends. Do you ever meet? I didn't. I paid for them to like the product. Now they loved the product. They loved it. But there's a phrase in sales, there's a terminology in sales, and I mean no disrespect, it's called the hooker factor. Nobody wants to pay for it after they got it. So I would send people mattresses, I would send them products, I would send them all of this stuff, and they would go, "This is great." I said, "Well, it's $275. Where do you want me to ship it back to?" Ugh, I just keep it. And I figured somebody's got it. Somebody's going to want to have to pay for it. And not anybody really did. So why am I still involved in this profession? Because I finally learned how to communicate. I finally learned how to get people to buy and not be sold. So here's how you set your stage to have your team be not needy. Give them homework. If you listen to my conversation as we have talks with people, if you listen really carefully, sometimes you might be blown away by the dialogue. And I get it. There's things that I get downloaded about people, and there's micro expressions I see in their face. There's micro expressions I hear in their voice. That's from 40 years of talking to people and paying attention. But one of the things that you'll hear is I don't ever tell anybody to do anything. If you listen to the conversations I have with individuals, I don't share what to do. I give suggestions, I give guidelines, I say, here's what you might think about, possibly, maybe. But when you hear, they always know the next step. So when you have a conversation with your team and they ask you questions, good morning, everybody. Welcome to those folks who have just recently joined us. Don't forget, send out your 3 messages of gratitude, of joy, of love. And why do you do that? So you can make space for more to show up in your life. When somebody comes to me with an issue, Sean, oh my gosh, you won't believe this. I need some help. Awesome. What do you need some help with? Well, I want to run an ad. I want to make some posts on social media. Awesome. Start with the end in mind. What's the result you desire? Not what action do you desire? What's the result you desire? And they go, well, I want to do this. Great. What do you think you'd have to do to get there? Right? If I'm in Dallas, Texas, somebody says to me, Sean, I want to get to New York. Awesome. Great. Am I supposed to carry them to New York? Are any of you supposed to carry anybody that when they want to go somewhere, they want to go to Columbia, they want to go to North Carolina? It doesn't matter. You can drive, you can walk, you can fly, you can take a bus. You give them options. Why is it that when somebody comes to us in network marketing, we feel we have to do all the work for them? Yeah, but I'm their leader. I'm their sponsor. Can you listen? That term sponsor takes on a huge responsibility, but it doesn't take on you living their life. If anybody's ever had to deal with an addiction, a drug addiction, and they send you to AA or to some communities, to some group, so you can have regular meetings with other people who are like you, First thing they tell you is find a sponsor. Your sponsor can't stop you from drinking or taking the drugs. Your sponsors are to remind you of the path you're on. Wouldn't that make sense if we did that in network marketing? Remind them of the path we're on. You want to know what the challenge is? We don't know what they want, what path they're on. Yes, I do. I asked them their why. Listen. I know it might be early for me to like hit you over the head, but I'm going to do it with a little bit of love. If asking people their why was the secret to success, we'd all be billionaires. Do you know why asking people why doesn't work? Because when you were little and you got in trouble, what was the first thing your parents asked you? ¿Por qué? Why? Why did you do that? What were you thinking? What do we ask people? So tell me, what are you thinking about your goals? You knock something over. Are you stupid? What were you thinking? Why'd you do that? And we think because somebody somewhere in network marketing said, find their why. If their why doesn't make them cry, when their why makes them cry, you got it. The challenge is you can easily get somebody to cry about their why. You know what the chuckleheads don't know? How to rewire the brain so that why becomes a driving factor and not a crushing one. So their why is a long-term reason. Their why could be from childhood. Their why, there's somebody on this call who was told something they should be doing between the ages of 4, 5, or 6. And it's been a 40-year drive to find this thing. Why would it take 40 years to find your why? Because we keep getting told the old story. So how do you keep somebody from being needy? Well, you're going to have to understand humanities. You're going to have to understand human nature. You're going to need to understand how to have a conversation without triggering the amygdala. And so you ask questions. You keep the prefrontal cortex alive. You keep the prefrontal cortex engaged in conversation. Man, I want to run some ads. Awesome. What do you want to do? I want to get some customers. What do you want to get some customers for? So I can build my business. Awesome. Would it make sense? Would it make sense that if you've not done something before, you do some research on it? Yeah. Oh no, I've done my research. Awesome. So I'll give you a secret that helped make Jim Rohn popular. And it was his marketing team. It was actually the marketing person behind him, Kyle Wilson, who's a dear friend of mine. Kyle always says, test small, test small, and then test again. All too often, people run out and they'll do $100, $200 in ads, and they'll go, I got 40,000 impressions. Awesome. How many people did you enroll? No one. How many times do we guide our teams to go out and do something that may seem easy? $200 isn't a lot, unless of course it was that or your house payment. It was that or food for your kids. But how many times do we help our distributors, our teams, our new members go out and get results they don't like because we told them what to do? Guess who they blame? Right? But remember, whenever you point the finger at somebody, how many fingers are pointing back? They don't see that. They don't see there's 3 pointing back because they didn't go do the work. They followed your rules. Oh, you should do this. Go make a list of 100 people. Yeah, I know that's important. But who wants to make a list of 100 people like a hit list? What if you asked, who are the people in your circle of influence? Who are the people you would like to bring value to? Remember, how many times do we say, this would be so good for them? You know why it's not so good for them? Because you couldn't say it in a way that made it good for them. Oh, snap. There's some actresses and there's some actors on this call. Wait a minute. If we're all in network marketing, there's 112 of us in acting. Because some of us act like we got our stuff together when we're in front of a customer. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm killing it. I'm crushing it. And you haven't made a paycheck with a comma in it yet. I'm killing it. I'm crushing it. This is awesome. And you're standing in front of the room lying your butt off. Because you know the compensation plan. You know how to tell them 82 ways to make money. And you haven't even used the first 3. Snap. How do you get somebody to not be needy? Teach them what it's like to stand on their own 2 feet. Everybody, listen, I've done business in 30 plus countries. I've stood on stage in 30 plus countries, done business, been translated into over 40 different languages. Does that make me better than you? It just means I failed in more places than you and in more language than you've ever had. I've got experiences that hopefully most of you don't want to pay for. But you know what? You're going to wind up buying them. Why? Because you want to do this. You want to do this your way. Listen, not one of you are doing it your way. There's an alphabet that you use. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. You didn't make them. Those letters, so everything you have is borrowed. It's rare. Jim Rohn said, having an idea is important, but rarely does a good idea interrupt you. So how do you get your team to not be needy? Give them homework. Have a dialogue with them. Man, I want to do this. Great. What 2 things? Here's the secret sauce right here. What 2 things would you like to do to achieve that goal? Well, that's what I came to you for. How many times do you hear people on this call say, I don't know? And I say, well, let me ask the question a different way. And I repeat it the exact same way. See, we take their I don't know as our responsibility to give them a no. K-N-O-W. But you know what we're doing? We are giving them a no, an N-O, to their own creativity, to their own stand on their own 2 feetness. If we're a sponsor, our job is to get them to be able to do things on their own. So what 2 things would you want to do? Well, I'd want to do this and this. Awesome. Which one of those do you want to do first? This one. Well, I don't know if it's going to work. Can't you tell me? Hell, I don't know if it's going to work either. I could sing Danny Boy. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling. But can you sing it? Does that mean you can sing Danny Boy? Does that mean you should own a 4-star steakhouse restaurant with a piano player and sing Danny Boy every Friday night for people? No. So don't do me, do you. We get in this profession and we think people should be like us. Oh my gosh. If Rhonda Bird Parker had to be like me, God help us all. You want to know the scary part? If I had to be like Rhonda Bird Parker, God help us all. So, all of this to say, give them homework. The challenge is we want to feel needed. You know why? We want to feel needed. And so when we want to feel needed, we create needy distributors. Now, they can lean on you. You all heard that if you were on Saturday's call with Rhonda, you heard how Sean ain't my savior. I never planned on being your savior. I did let her lean on me. And the awakening comes at some point with everybody I work with. I don't really, I mean, I need you to run a question or 2 by, but I'm always pushing them back up. Stand on your own 2 feet. In the beginning, though, because people are needy, people need to have community, they're going to ask you some crazy questions. Give them homework. I don't know how to make a post on social media. What do you think the benefit of making a post on social media? How many of you are nervous of doing a Instagram live or a Facebook live? If you're afraid of doing an Instagram live or any kind of live video, okay, I got a bunch of me's going. So if oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm looking at the names going, seriously? Not because you're afraid, but because of what you do that makes you think you're afraid. So if I could teach you how to not be afraid, would you want to know? You're not going to like the answer. Do it. Your first one's going to be your worst one. And I would save it. I would put that in a gold USB drive and save it. Now, I will walk you through what you can do and how you can do it and how you can set yourself up. But the key is you got to start. Imagine this. You are depriving the world of their own joy. Well, wait a minute. I'm scared poopless. I'm so scared I can't even do this. You're keeping the world from their own joy. See, the second that you do it, somebody else will say, I can do it. Here's the challenge with doing your first live. You're going to get a lot of good feedback. You will. You're going to get a lot of good feedback. You know what the bad news is when you do your second one, there's not going to be as much feedback. You know what's going to happen when you do your third one? There's going to be even less feedback. And you're going to go, oh, I told you. See, I told you, nobody likes me. Why? Because this is what happens with everybody. We habitualize to our environment. We become habitized to our environment. And what you are the new shiny object. I did a live yesterday without a hat on Instagram. Somebody goes, wow, you look great without a hat. You look different without a hat. I'm like, really? Yeah, you look, I mean, in a good way, the comment went on to say. I'm like, well, I didn't think it was in a bad way. Now, if I didn't have a shirt on, if I was like Luis or Leo, right? And like, yeah, you look different without a shirt on. That one I'm going to guess is probably not meant as, ooh, sexy, dead sexy, get in my belly. So how do you keep your team from being needy? Give them homework. Give them something to do. Now, here's the tough part. You have to be the teacher to know what to give them to do. You've got to be the teacher to ask them the questions of what it takes to do for them to take the next step. Listen, if I told all of you that said you were afraid to do a live or afraid to do, whether it be a Facebook live or an Instagram live, if I said your company's willing to pay you 10 grand if you started doing lives, how many would you be doing lives in a heartbeat? Well, guess what? Your company's willing to pay you 10 grand, start doing lives. Well, yeah, but they won't send it to me tomorrow. How do you know? What does it take? What do we do in this profession? In our profession, we can only do two things: find customers and build leaders. If you start doing lives that you are afraid to do and tell people, I'm scared out of my wits right now. Yet I know that if I start to do these, I may fall in love with somebody and find a connection who could be a business partner that we could fall in love with doing business together, and off we go. You want to know why I have a group of 30, it's probably over 30,000 now, 30,000 in Latin America? Here's very simple, very simple. I stood on stage in front of 5,000 people 8 years ago. I stood on stage in front of 5,000 people, and I was the crazy gringo. I understand what it was like to speak in front of 5,000 Latinos. from 15 countries and be fun and be joyous and be respectful of their community and their culture. And out of that, 2 brothers, I mentored them for 6 years. They just reached out after the event. We never even got a picture together at the event. It was a long distance relationship for 6 years. And then one day they had enough and they said, we're going to do exactly what you tell us to do. I said, you'll do this, this, and this. Can you follow those rules? Are you coachable? Yep. Awesome. And the rest is history 18 months later. I never told them what they should do until they tried everything else that they could do, and it failed to produce the result they want. Didn't fail, failed to produce the result they want. What happens with every addict? What do we say about people who are addicts? They can only get help when what? When they hit where? When they hit bottom. Too many of us are trying to guide people as if they were at bottom. They ain't at bottom yet. Some of y'all ain't at bottom yet. Why do we have to get there? You don't have to get to bottom. You got to get to decision. And that's what bottom is for some people, when all of their other options are gone. The challenge is you're letting people blame you for their failure. And you're trying to take their credit when they succeed. Ooh, snap. Yeah, well, they just didn't do the work. They enrolled somebody. Yeah, I taught them that. Listen, this whole idea of you being responsible for them, probably not going to serve you well. And you thinking that your people are successful because of you. Listen, I've got a whole bunch of amazing souls on my team. I didn't do the work for any of them. They are, because I happen to be in a comp plan. I happen to be in a compensation plan that rewards me for finding the right people, helping people who want to do more, have more, be more. And I get rewarded. Could you imagine if you ran a company with 30,000 people in it, 30,000 employees, how much work the managers would have to do, how much work the people on the front line would have to do, how much work the area directors would have to do, how much work the area directors would have to do to keep the managers working, to keep the employees working, how much the regional managers would need to be doing to keep the area workers doing. Do you realize how much work is involved in keeping people working? If traditional business used the model of network marketing, president, entrepreneurs, man, you'd have things would be streamlined. But no, because we have to have somebody tell us what to do, and people will work just hard enough so they don't get fired, and we'll pay them just enough so they don't quit. You know why people don't quit in network marketing who are making $40 a month? It's the Amway reason. It's because they're finally finding a place they can develop as a person. Are you helping your people develop as people or as robots? When you let freedom, when you finally give somebody a taste of freedom of choice, the freedom to think, as painful as that is for many, you give them a chance to have more of what they want and less of what they don't. The reason that they come to you and they ask you for things is because it's just like what happens if somebody's been in prison for 20 years and they get out. They don't know how to operate in the real world. And network marketing is bringing them to the real world. The world of connection, the world of human nature, the world of actually listening to the person who's sitting across from you. So when somebody asks you what to do, ask them, What do you want to do? Somebody comes to me and they say they want to be a brain surgeon. I say, well, then let me introduce you to some doctors. I don't know how to teach you how to be a brain surgeon. I had a 0.9 grade point average, barely made it through high school. So now the question becomes, are you giving them directions to keep them in your business, to keep them stuck so that they can follow you? Man, I hope everybody passes me. I hope everybody passes me. Why? Because then I can help more to get on the way. Listen, if honestly, I'm good at what I do, but if I'm the solution, if I'm as high as the solution, if I'm as good as the solution gets, we all in trouble. If I'm as good as the solution gets, we all in trouble. Man, I hope there's better answers out there than me. I just want to be what Jim Rohn says, that rung on the ladder. And I'm at a place where I provide value. And because I provide value, the marketplace pays me handsomely. You want to increase your paycheck? You want to increase your commission check? Provide more value. You want to exponential your check? You want to multiply your check and stop with addition? Become valuable to valuable people. Listen, this one's going to hurt. Y'all sitting down? I'm going to encourage you to stop living life on the installment plan. Well, I could have a little of this. I could have a little of that. Well, let me go see if I can find 2 more people. Let me go see if I can find 1 more person. Oh, the 1 person I had left. Why are you living life on the installment plan? Why are you living success on the installment plan? See, your desires, your heart, your wishes, your wants are bigger than the installment plan. That's why you get angry. That's why you get frustrated. That's why you can't sleep. This idea that there's lack right now with COVID and all of this stuff going on, to think that there's lack, that's a mindset. You want to know, you want to prove there's no lack? There's 144. Wow, there's 144 people on the call. All 144 of you, take a big breath. Take as big as you can, and then hold it. Watch this. Hold it. Okay, don't pass out. But every one of you took as much air as you could. Guess what was left for me? As much as I wanted. If every one of you take as much money as you can hold, guess what will be left over for me? If every one of you prospects everyone you can in your business, guess what's left over? Enough for me. If every one of you sold all of the products that you could to everyone you could, guess what's left over? Enough for me. Listen, some of you are breakfast, some of you are dinner. There's people who will never join dinner because they're looking for breakfast. They're in dinner and they don't like dinner and they leave. We're in a business of volunteers. People get to vote with their feet. People don't leave you. Oof, you ready for this? Here's a tough one. I learned this a long time ago. Listen, I'm only telling you this because it's happened to me. I don't know if any of this is true for you. You know why people leave you? Oh, they left me. They didn't leave you. Hang on. Give me a nod if you're okay with this one's gonna hurt a little bit. Give me a nod if you're okay with the next answer. They didn't leave you. You ready? They never joined you. Oh, snap. Ah! I say this with love. They never joined you. Because they enrolled doesn't mean they joined you. They may love you. Here's the challenge. If you're selling your company, if you're selling your comp plan, you're selling your products, when the company does something stupid, they join the company and they leave the company. They don't leave you. Why are you teaching them how to be a good company person? This isn't the 1930s where we got to be in the company. You know, we owe our debt to, I owed my debt to the company store. Didn't know you're getting song and dance this morning, did you? Here's the thing. When they join you, it's a little bit harder for them to leave you. It's real easy to leave you if the company screws up. Oh, it's I owed my soul to the company store. So here's the point. People love you. How many of you, if you're lovable, type an L in the chat. So if you're lovable, then it's easy to stay with you. Here's the next hard part. Some of us, it might serve us well if we learn how to love ourselves a little bit more. See, we want them to love our outside. They want us to love our inside. We don't want to love our inside. We want them to love our outside. Listen, if look at me, look at this face. This ain't the lovable face. This isn't the puppy dog face that people fall in love with. They got to go through this face and through this sexy body. They got to get through looking at me to wind up so that they can get to my heart. And when they get to my heart, it ain't about business. It's about humanity. So, long way to get to the answer of how do you keep people from being needy? Don't need them. Serve them. Oh my gosh, but I need him to get my check. Serve them. Serve them. Be in service to them. When you understand the laws of the universe, energy is, law of opposites, the law of polarity, the law of reciprocity. If I say good morning, if we're in a relationship where we like each other, it's almost deemed that you say good morning back to me. Yeah, you won't hear this stuff on a training call.
General.
Yeah, go ahead, Manny.
Good morning, sir. Quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between serving and helping?
Serving is getting somebody out of the homeless shelters. Helping them is feeding them, thinking that you're doing charity work. See, we all want to go volunteer. And that's awesome. We get to go volunteer. But serving them is finding a job for them. Helping them think their way out of the homeless shelter. Oh my gosh, I went down and I volunteered and I gave away 400 meals at Thanksgiving. You did serve, but you served yourself. No, I gave him food to people. Listen, this is, if we want to get real and raw, that's why you come here. But helping people is holding open a door for somebody. That's helping them. They could do it themselves. That's helping them. That's being kind. Serving them is when you sit down and you find out, what is it that is holding them back? Yesterday, we had a conversation that went back to a Barbie doll. I didn't know the amazing soul on the other end of the line. but I know their heart was challenged. Their heart was broken by a simple thought of a Barbie doll from however many years ago. Serving somebody is when they can't do anything possible to repay you. See, so I can't even call what I do service, because when they break free, when they become awakened to the thing that was holding them back, they knew it. That's how we had that conversation. They knew where to go in their life, the thing that was holding them back. And then I see the joy on their face. That's payment for me. So I don't even know if it's service, because I do get paid back. When we start to serve our community, our members, the people on our team, you want to know what it's like to create an army? When you understand what service means to your people, some of you sacrifice your family for your team. That is not service to your team. Some of your team members are sacrificing their families because they want your recognition. I've never heard this anyplace before. You know what? It's probably all wrong. So I would just take it, write it down in a note and go, well, that was stupid. And I'd move on. Nobody teaches this. You're right. It's probably none of it'll ever work for you. It's probably all wrong. I'm saying it. It's on recording. It's probably all wrong. Do not follow it. Because here's the thing. You're going to go back to your upline and go, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what I learned on the call this morning. And then I get phone calls. And I tell them, I told them not to do it. Don't do this. So, how do you keep people from being needy? Teach them to have desire. How do you teach desire? You give them a taste of it. You walk them to the park. I can't make you get on the swing, but if I walk you to the park and you see the swing, ooh, I want to get on the swing. Whee! Whee! Push me, Sean. Push me. I'll push you one more time, and then you're going to have to figure out how to kick your legs. Do you remember the day that you learned how to kick your legs on a swing? And you could make yourself go? And you became the most independent SOB on the planet? Son of belief? Sister of belief? What did you think SOB stood for? You became the most amazing, I'm free, whee, and you kick your leg. Look how high I can go. And that's when you started to scare your parents. Oh my gosh, not that high. Oh, not that high. How many of us are clipping people's wings because they're starting to enroll more people? Oh, not that fast. Follow me on this. And then I'm going to go to Penelope's question. The brain takes half a second to a second to comprehend things in its environment. Half a second's pretty quick. You know how fast micro expressions are that you take into your subconscious, and you can read all of the things happening at a micro expression level? Some of it 1/200th of a second. You are taking in information right now. You are taking in information right now in your environment. Every one of you, the 155 of you here right now, are taking in information in your environment that your brain is deciding, will it kill me, or how fast can I recognize the pattern? And you do not even know it. Katerine is in her car driving. There's thousands of things happening right now that none of them are making it to the conscious level of the mind. Same thing happens when you have conversations with your prospects. You know why most people have challenges with building their business is because they're having dialogues with people. They're talking to people. The guy from Tajikistan last night, I'm probably saying the country wrong, but the guy from Tajikistan last night said, oh, I'm studying speaking in Arizona. And he said exactly what you're saying. And I'm like, glad my information's right. I'm glad a professor had to come on and tell me my information's right. He's not a professor, he's a student. But they said, did you know that 7% of your presentation are just your words? Only your presentation is made up of just 7% of your words. I said, yes, I know that. I said, and do you know the other 15 different ways it gets broken down? He goes, well, no, I only know 4. I said, that's because you're learning about it. You're not studying it. Ooh, snap. So we are focused on our words. Do you know why the Bible gets screwed up? Because people focus on the words. And then the reason it gets screwed up is because they don't understand the word, and they put the other 93% of themselves into what they just read, and they screw it up. My opinion. And you know what happens with opinions. They're like, you know, those things that you toot out of. Everybody's got one. So how do you keep people from being needy? Teach them to awaken to their desire. Oh, well, I thought you were just going to tell me to make them do hard work. If you want to become responsible to them and not for them, teach them how to become responsible for themselves. Does this help? I talked a little more than I normally do, but I felt that it would needed to be shared. Hey, Penelope, let's go to Penelope. Good morning, Penelope. You're on line 2 with the nut job from Texas. Good morning.
Good morning, Grand Rising, Sean.
Grand Rising.
Honestly, this is about my 4th, 5th time tuning into the Misfits. Big up, y'all. Honestly, I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, I wrote you down in my routine. So every morning it's wake up at 7:30, log into Sean Murphy's call. But let me tell you, I slept in today, and the way I jumped out of my bed to log in to see you right now. Oh my God, I thought I was having like a nightmare. Anyways, I don't even know where to start, to be honest.
I hear that
I haven't been in the business too long. I have a lot on my mind. I have a lot going on in life. I love that you said that nobody could say there's a lack of during this quarantine, because I've found myself in so many different ways, and I've had so many opportunities and blessings just fall in my lap that I don't even know like where to start, what to prioritize. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but one of the things that really spoke to me firstly was you speaking to that woman sometime last week, and kind of changing her, making her go back and talk to her younger self. Like, firstly, I'm trying to get my mom on one of these calls one day, because I know you could change her whole perspective. I just, I guess I want to say I haven't failed at my business yet. I haven't failed. But I also don't.
So hang on, Penelope. I love you. And you just gave yourself an out as a strong, smart, beautiful woman to not be better than your friends. And I don't know if you heard it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So your subconscious just screamed at me. And it was going, nah, 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 you're not so good. You haven't worked with her. And I'm like, here's what you said. Yeah, exactly, Moishe. I haven't failed yet at my business.
Damn.
Now, follow me. Listen, here's how this, I'm going to say it. If you got any kids on the phone, cover their ears for just a second. Here's how this shit slides in. You just said, I haven't failed yet, but you said it in such a way that made you feel good that you're really working hard. And I heard, oh, she's really working hard and she doesn't want to fail. She doesn't want to give up. She doesn't want to disappoint everybody. But I heard what you didn't say. I heard, I have failed at so many things in my life that I think keep me stronger, that move me forward, that make me the woman that I am, that life is just a little bit tough and it's got to be tough. And every day it's got to be a little bit tougher, but I'm stronger than that and I'll get better and I'll work harder. And I heard all of that I haven't failed at my business yet. And I'm working on it and I'm working on it. And so the two of us are supposed to go, yay, let's go skip rope. Are you kidding me? If you've ever said something like that before to a mentor or somebody you called a mentor and they let you buy with that, at 6 o'clock in the morning, we're having a shooting. This is why too many of you are calling people mentors who don't have the right to carry the name.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sean, for that. Thank you for saying that. Thank you so much. That needs to be said.
Too many of you love to call somebody a mentor, but here's the problem. You're calling your drug dealer the good guy. Oh no, but he's my friend. He only gives me crack twice a week when I get on his team call. Ooh, somebody's coming for me today. I can feel it. A mentor is somebody who goes, wait a minute, stop. You can't say that anymore. I haven't failed at my business yet. Because this business is not about your business. This business is about your life. Too many people think they get involved in this business. Too many people think they get involved in this business and it's going to change their life. All this is going to reveal is what your life is like. Well, if I just had more money, I'd be good. No, you wouldn't. You'd be just as stupid as you are now. I'd be just as stupid as I am now. So how stupid are you? How many of you have lost $1 million? Some of you on this call have lost $1 million. How many of you have been $1 million in debt? You know why I sit here and I can yell at you? Hopefully I'm yelling with you. Your husband has. Awesome. I have. You know, making $1 million isn't difficult at all. You know what the hard part is? Keeping it. Sponsoring somebody isn't difficult at all. You know what the hard part is? Keeping them. Nobody leaves you. You got to ask yourself the tough question. Did they join you? And if you're thinking you need to do your business, man, you got some challenges. Your business should be the result of your life, not be the cause of your life. You should be living your business full on right now called your life. Look at that beautiful soul up on top with the white collar and the black dress. I don't know if she's trying out for a role this morning, but she's just absolutely, well, she's in the top of mine. Yesterday we learned her name was Evelyn. She's this amazing soul. You look over on my screen, there's this amazing little soul with this hair that just goes straight up and this beautiful color behind her and a green shirt. We call her our little Gigi. She's learning how to live life. I'm looking at these souls and then we don't recognize her this morning because she doesn't have her pink robe on. Oh, there it is. I wasn't sure what you were doing. When we start to help people live their life, that's the business we're in. You are not in a business that has 18 ways to make a comp plan work. Listen, there's only 100 pennies in a dollar. Your comp plan is going to pay out 40 to 50%, just like mine. It ain't no different. Your company ain't paying out any more money than anybody else. Well, we have the highest comp plan in the industry. It's going to be 52%. And if it's more than that, you'll be out of business. Good luck. Have a nice day. There's 100 pennies in a dollar. The company needs some, you need some. It's all about the same. Jim Rohn said, what's the future going to hold? Opportunity mixed with difficulty. What's the future going to be? Opportunity mixed with difficulty. It's pretty much going to be the same as it is right now. So, Penelope, I know I kind of steamrolled you over there, but this wasn't about you. You asked a question that most people don't have the courage to ask. So I don't even know if we ever got to your question, my love. Are you still on the call, or did you
I
run
am
away?
still
Okay,
here.
good.
I ain't going nowhere, Sean.
Okay, good. What was your question?
So that I just have like so much on my plate right now, I guess, and I don't really know where to start. And I feel like I do everything that I have to do. I guess I just don't know what to prioritize. Like,
So how long do you want to own that story? Of I don't know what to prioritize. I seem like I'm overwhelmed.
not long. Not another day.
Okay. So what would change then? You'd have to know what to prioritize.
Yeah, I'm trying. So I started doing like a routine every day, and I'm trying to,
Did you ever watch Star Wars?
no.
No. Did you ever hear the little guy, the little green guy with the funny ears?
Yeah,
Yoda?
he's cute. He's cute.
Yeah, he's cute. There is no try. Do it, do not. You said try 3 times before you were about to do everything.
Damn.
Yeah. So what do you want? I don't know. Great question. Great answer. Let me ask the question again. What do you want? I don't know. I just don't know. Awesome. Let me know when you do, and I can help you.
Whew, geez. I
Yeah.
want the world, Sean, in my hands.
Awesome. Cool. And the world is in your hand. Where do you live?
Where do I live? In Toronto.
So you live in Toronto. I'm in Dallas. There's a lot of world between you and me. There's I know AJ's on here from Serbia. So now you go Dallas here, Serbia. There's people in the UK. You've got a huge chunk of the world in your hand right now. Do you realize that?
Not till now.
Yeah. See, I was on a live with Tajikistan last night. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and London's here. What other countries do we have on the call here today? Sweden's on the call. Do you realize you have the world right in your hand right here? I think, yeah. So we got France on the call, Belgium, Boston. Boston is its own country. I agree. Australia's on the call. India is on the call. So you want Ghana on the call. Mars is here. I have no doubt we have some Martians on here. This isn't the first time. The Bronx, a world all by itself. Venus is here. Absolutely. Puerto Rico, la isla de Encanta.
Sí, arriba.
So you have the whole world in your hand. Get up and go show yourself to it. You're a beautiful woman. The world needs to hear you. You have amazing ideas. The world needs to hear them. You have gifts, you have life, you have scars. Paulo Coelho in his book, Manuscript Found in a Cross, says, the scars you carry are stronger than the sword that made them.
Amen.
So start letting people see your scars.
Slowly but surely, maybe.
That's okay. But here's the thing. You let them know you have them, because if you let them know you have them, people are going to go, I got scars too. And that's how you create your community. That's how you create your community. Your vibe will create your tribe. So what do? Do the things you love to do. I love to go lay it out on the grass. I go get a towel, lay on the grass, and let the puppies come sit with me. Well, how can you do that if you're so busy? Because I'm not busy trying to keep people busy. I become focused, helping people become focused. Careful what you speak into existence. I would record yourself for an hour when you're having dialogues and see how many limiting beliefs you put into yourself. And then start working on you. Pay attention. You mean I got to pay attention to every word? Only if you want success.
Mm.
How many words in the sentence "I love you" should be said?
All three of them.
Yeah. So how many words that you use when you say things to people should be the best words? All of them. But we use limiting words. We use injected values. We use a whole bunch of things that cause people to get stuck and not unstuck.
How about if I'm the one feeling stuck?
Because it's the language you're saying to yourself. Imagine if you had to write down all of the things you said to yourself. You would read that and go, I don't know who this son of a gun is, but if I ever meet this person, I'm going to shoot them.
Can I offer a way to filter through some of that, Sean?
Sure.
Penelope, can you imagine being on your deathbed and you've got 2 hours left to live? And as you look back over your life, what would you have seen that you would have been proud to have accomplished? Above all other things. That might be a guidepost or a way to set your compass to be able to sort down through what's really important.
Yeah, because we're all moving to the finish line for all of us is really not a finish line. It's the start of a new life, and it's called death. We just all think we got 60 years to get there. May want to check that hourglass. We all know how much time is in the bottom. None of us know how much time is in the top. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate you, brother. Let's go to LaToya. Let's go to Hotlanta.
Good morning, Sean. How you doing?
Outstanding.
Good. I have a question.
Sure.
How can you, like, my brother crossed over yesterday.
Okay.
So I found myself not to like focus on it so much. I was like, I focused more on the business, right?
Yep.
So my question to you is how can a person like grow through it while they're still building themselves and this happens?
So can I give you the heartfelt answer and not the mind answer?
Yes.
I'm going to ask a question to the community. Has anybody lost a family member in this community? Look at all of the yeses, LaToya. There's people who right now may be in a very similar situation to you, and they don't have the strength you have. Yours is raw and real right now. Theirs may be not so raw and real. But when they lost something that's very important to them, they're still lost. They need somebody like LaToya to step up and talk them through this discomfort because they've never been talked through. It's not been a because stuff like that is woo-woo, we talk about that in back rooms and places.
Mm.
What if you are your true self, and you are? That's why you asked this question here on this call. Well, how do I deal with this? You listen, you can disengage, and that will give people courage to know they could disengage. Hey, listen, everybody, you could put a post out on social media. I lost my brother yesterday. So I may be just out of pocket a little bit. Or when you hear from me, you may see a tear run down my eye. It's because it hurts. And you know what'll happen? again, what we've seen on everybody here, the vulnerability. Now, there's a difference between people who use their vulnerability and it's just a big bag of you know what versus people who are just being real. What you're going through is absolutely real. But I'll also let you know something you know better than most. You now have another angel to watch over you. And you're like, yeah, but I'd rather that not be the case.
Yeah, I stayed up to about 2:30 this morning because I couldn't find myself going to sleep. So I focused like on the charts, and I was like, going through self-development and stuff. And I just I made myself just go to sleep for a few hours.
Yep.
And it's, it was like, I didn't want like that old story, but I found myself like being fully immersed. I guess, I just don't want to be down that memory lane, so
well,
yeah.
Monique said something pretty powerful. You know what the great news is, if there's any great news about this at all, is now you can talk to him anytime you want.
Yes.
And I know that's like, well, wait a minute, but this is not how I was taught to feel. I was taught when people are gone that we're supposed to be sad and cry, and that's mirror neurons working in your body.
Yeah, one of my brothers, one of my good friends, they were telling me, yeah, you could talk to him on another level now. Just celebrate. Take this moment to celebrate that.
Absolutely, and it's hard when you know the thing is lost. But if we believe in the things that we believe in, who's having a better day? If the things we believe, I believe you and I believe the same thing. If the things we believe, they're in a place.
Hello.
Yeah, they're in a place. They're in a place called heaven. I mean, if anybody's crying, it's got to be them up there going, "Oh my gosh, they don't know what it's like."
Right.
Right. And they look down at us and they go, what we're all working towards, what they're working towards, what lays before them is a whole lot better than what lies inside of them."
Yes. He came to me.
I love it.
Yeah, he came to me. He said, he didn't want to be taken care of because he knew the condition he was in.
Right.
And he said he liked it better because he made his own decisions. So he didn't want to be dependent. And I can understand, but my friend.
Yep. So part of it is that he kind of took away our ability to help him.
Right.
But you know what he did? He did the sacrificing thing and he served you. He served your sisters and your brothers. Talk about a hero. And now he gets to show up. Now here's you know what the challenge is now? When you start to do goofy things, guess who's going to show up and tap you on the shoulder and go, excuse me, young lady.
Yeah.
Then you're going to go, would you just go angel somebody else, please?
Yeah.
Our prayers are with you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
I'll send some love to LaToya. I know if you scroll up in the chats, young lady, everybody was sending their love and prayers to you. Let's go to Jeremy. I love the last name.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good.
Good. This is my first time on this call, thanks to my good friend Liz. She told me about this, so I plan to be here every morning. But I have a comment and then I have a question.
So
First,
you're crazy like the rest of us.
I am crazy. I am crazy like the rest of you. Yes. My first comment is something you said early, and that's about rewiring your brain to find your why.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened to me. I mean, it wasn't just a few years ago, even less that, I was anxious, fearful, scared of people, not knowing which direction I was heading, not knowing my purpose. Then I started acquiring healthy habits and practicing them and kind of even digging deeper into them during this whole COVID crisis. And I started seeing a change in my brain. So I found my purpose, I found my why, and that is to help other people with this, problem that we're all having and going through. So I don't have a business, but I know I want to build a team. I want to build a team for support, and I want to build a team to bounce questions off each other. And when we do have prospects or clients and we're not sure the answers, we can go and talk to one another and kind of help each other out. So I have my first Zoom meeting that I scheduled, first Zoom meeting ever, and there's going to be anywhere from 10 to 15 people on there. That's today at 3 p.m. And I kind of gave them, like you mentioned about the homework assignment, it's going to be an introduction meeting, so we'll kind of go quick, but I did want to kind of cover two questions. And the first one was kind of bring your why. So I want to adjust that question and change it. And then my second question is, where do you see yourselves in 1 year?
Okay.
So my question to you is, what should I change, or what do you think I should recommend as far as maybe changing that first question of what is your why? Because like you said, just asking it is not enough.
Right. So Jeremy, a couple of things. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for going on the journey that allowed me to be in your presence today. I'm grateful for that. Thirdly, I need you to pay close attention to anybody who finds you on Instagram or Facebook and tries to recruit you. You need to send me their name so that I can kick them out of this community.
Okay.
Because when you just said, I don't have a business, I heard the claws come out. And I promise you, if you reach out to Prospect Jeremy, hey, dude, listen, how are you? Man, saw you on Sean's call this morning. What do you do? And Jeremy goes, well, I'm blah, blah, blah. Hey, listen, have you ever thought about trading or nutritionals or skincare or anything else? No, I know, Joanna, but there's some people who are new to this and think this is a fishing ground. You go fishing in my pond in this community, ain't going to be a good outcome for you. So first of all, Jeremy, let me know if anybody reaches out to you and tries to good buddy you booty call you, for lack of a better description. That's the best way it came into my mind. Secondly, so I just let me know that.
All right, I will.
So how do you enhance the question? They're going to show up at 3 o'clock with their why. And the way you might enhance that is say, listen, time is compressing itself. We still got 24 hours, but because of the amount of angst, the amount of lack, that's why everybody's getting anxious right now, is because the amount of opportunity. Dr. Wayne Dyer, when he would say things, people would say, I just lost my job. He'd go, congratulations, you have 360 degrees of opportunity. But when somebody loses their job, you know what degree they look at? I don't have a job, and they don't see the other 359 degrees. So when you bring people to this moment, you have there's a huge task, not responsibility, task on your shoulders to get them out of the future or out of the past. So rather than what's your why, ask them why they got up today. Bring it back to this moment. We want to be of service to them. We want to help them get out of their rut. I would encourage you to help them get out of their rut right now. Because you're looking forward. You're looking a week ahead, 6 weeks ahead, 6 months ahead, 3 years ahead. Listen, how much of that based upon, listen, if we all set goals for 2020, I did an interview with Les Brown a couple of weekends ago. And then he was on another call with me this past weekend. And Les goes, Man, he says 2019. He said, if I could go back to you, I'm sorry I talked bad about you. Can I get you back 2019? Can we just put 2020 away right now? I'm so sorry, 19. If you set goals in January of this year at your resolution, your New Year's resolution, ain't not one of you prepared for the world shutting down. So, Jeremy, what I would suggest to you is get people more in the 30-day plan. Where are you in 30 days? Because here's what a 1-year plan is made up of: the next hour.
Okay.
In the next hour.
So maybe just break it down.
Yeah.
Break it down into today, 30 days, and then in a year from now instead.
I wouldn't even talk a year from now, because what happens is that if I have to think about something I can't think about anything. What does a confused mind do? It stops. That's why I do these calls every day. That's why we focus on the now. That's why when Penelope was talking, I stopped her in mid-sentence and talked about the sentence that she was talking about.
Right.
We never even got to her business. Listen to the language that people use. Please record your call.
Okay.
Put it on a YouTube channel. Listen, that there's hundreds of hours people can go watch this. This is good stuff. Listen, I get paid 15 grand to stand on stage for an hour. Well, that ain't happening right now. But the reason that I say that is not to tell you about some kind of value. It's because people want to get the result now. Keep them focused in the now, Jeremy. You have this great voice that can speak to somebody that at sometimes may sound, listen, we don't know each other, but that tone in your voice can sound awfully wanting to serve people, but because they're in this fragile space, it may sound as a threat to them. And you are threatening their old story. You want to threaten their old story. I'll threaten anybody's old story.
Yeah, that's the point.
Right? The challenge is that sometimes your clarity and your desire to want to help comes across, they can't hear it that way. You're speaking love, and they're because the last time somebody wanted to help them, a strong, powerful guy wanted to help them, it hurt them. And they can't unhear that story running at a subconscious level. So when you show up, it's not that you need to be the kinder, gentler self, but my mentor told me this: if you're in a presentation and you talk more than they do, you're going to get paid a teacher's salary.
Yeah.
So at 3:00, I'd say, hey, listen, you know what? I'm so glad y'all are here. Share with me why you're here. And I don't care if the first call is them, just why did they show their butt up?
Yeah.
Give them a chance to be heard. That's what everybody's missing right now. That's why there's 143 people on this call listening to some nut job in Texas. Moi.
Yeah.
It's because
I'm not any better from Cleveland, Ohio.
So I grew up in Chardon, Ohio.
Oh, nice. That's like 20 minutes for me.
Yep. So I used to go take cows, 4-H cows, to the Burton Fair, right? So
yeah, there's a lot of cows here.
Yes, there are. So I say that to say this. Here I am, 54 years old, barely made it through high school. I went to Gilmore Academy in Gates Mills. That's where I graduated high school.
Ooh, I used to play Little League Baseball at Gilmore Academy. I'm in Parma, Jeremy.
Oh, nice. Nice to meet you. Yeah. If we could only just get that weather, it would be a great place to live.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I say all of this, Jeremy, you're entering into a new and unknown territory, which is awesome. That's where you do your best, is in the unknown, because you're paying attention. Wisdom doesn't come with age. Wisdom comes with paying your freaking butt attention to the moment. That's why we can call somebody who's 6 an old soul, because they pay attention.
Yeah. Makes
so
sense.
sit there with joy. Ask people to engage with writing, to get the kinesiology, right? I'm big on journaling. Get people to show up. Have them bring their journal. I don't care if it's a notebook. And then ask these 2 questions. This is our first time together, so I'm going to ask you these 2 questions so that I can teach from example. I'm going to ask you 2 simple questions, but you get to take those with you when you leave here today. Based upon our conversation today and what you've heard me have dialogue with from people around the world, what's one thing you learned? Now, listen carefully. I didn't teach you anything. Words do not teach. And I don't get paid to teach. I get paid to find customers and build leaders. What's one thing you learned from this dialogue you've heard us have this morning so far?
I like it.
I know, but go ahead and answer it. I want your new neural pathways to answer that
Oh,
question.
you're asking me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one thing I learned is that, and I don't know if it's so much from just today, but in a very short time, that we cannot do this ourselves and we need a community. And that's another reason why I'm on this call.
Okay.
Is no one has the answers. We're not even close to it, but I know together with how many people are on right now, 155 people, we can surely come close to finding the answers and we can help more people. I know just helping one person, who knows, that one person you help, they might find the cure to cancer. So you can't even look at the numbers. It's just a matter of going out and one person at a time, one soul at a time, and putting the message out and helping each other and just staying in that positive mindset every day, because that's another challenge. Just waking up every morning, and I like what you're doing because you're putting people in this positive mindset, you know, bright and early in the morning so their day could be, you know, positive and good. That alone is a challenge in itself.
Yep. So that's one thing you learned. What's one thing you liked from this conversation?
Everything.
I know, but what's one thing? What's one thing? And here, so
just the conversation alone of one-on-one talk, because I mean, like I said, before I started rewiring my brain, I was the type of person who sat behind a computer all day and had almost no social interaction. So one thing I'm learning is that the more one-on-ones you have, the more group interactions you're having, part of the community, it actually helps to fix your brain and helps to in the rewiring of the brain. It activates those neurotransmitters and it makes us sharper, it makes us better, and it starts in the vision start coming in.
Yep.
So it's not like you got it, you're stuck, you're not sure where you're going. Just participating like we're doing today is almost enough to get it started.
Yep, that gets the ball rolling. So those are the 2 questions I would ask you to engage your community. And as you begin to wrap up your call today is, hey, what's one thing you picked up? What's one thing you learned? Because here's the thing, you'll cover a whole bunch of topics. I cover a whole bunch of topics. The reason I ask what those 2 things, one thing you learned, because it's in your head, but I want to leave them in their heart. What's one thing you liked? You'll have people who you know that are caregivers, right? That are the servers in your community. They go, oh, I love this. They need to follow the rules. Go, I know, we'll get to that because they'll tell you what they liked first, and then they'll go, well, what I learned was this, and you're leaving them in a place they don't even like. Start with the head, leave them in the heart.
Leave with the heart. Okay.
So one thing you learned, and they'll go just like you did. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. I know, but what's one thing? Because now here's the thing. I've got 140 people on the call right now. That means I got to remember whatever the math is of double that. I'd only have to remember that many things versus how many notes people took down. So when you're starting to work with people, leave with 2 things and take notes on those people that you are there to influence on a regular basis. What's one thing you learned and one thing you like? My team knows there's a joke. They'll beat me to answering those questions before I even ask it.
I like it. Learned and liked. Simple enough, but powerful.
Yep. Yeah, this is
Thanks,
because
Sean.
right now people need the simple step forward. And so First of all, so let me say thank you to you, Jeremy, for putting yourself out there, for asking the question, but for doing this at 3:00 today, your time. Don't be surprised if there's some, what seems like underlying hostility, because I'm going to tell you this as a leader. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to see a big spike of aggression because people are now getting their quote freedom back as we open things back up. And then it's going to be taken away again. There's going to be conversations if people are watching the news and stuff. So this freedom, right? Yeah. Imagine if you were just told imagine if you were told you asked somebody out to prom on a date and they said yes. And then they said no. and then they said yes, and then they said no. This is what's happening on a global scale right now. And there's this storm of information and energy that's boiling, and it's going to need an outlet. And sometimes it's going to get directed at people like us who are pulling the plug on that outlet. So just be prepared for that and go, oh, so there it is. Awesome. I'm glad it's over.
Cool.
Awesome,
Thank you.
brother. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks.
being here. I look forward to hearing how it goes tomorrow if you want to report back, but just
I
thanks
absolutely will. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for spending your time
Yeah.
here with us. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Awesome sauce. Well, all righty then. RBP, how you doing, girl? Oh, you got your peanut with you.
Yeah, she just jumped in my lap, so she's snuggling me.
Oh,
So Dad's home today, so she said he was annoying her. She could hear him snoring. So I had one thing pop into mind if Jeremy's still on that I was going to tell him about the last questions Sean asked you to ask, which is one thing you learned and one thing you like. There's a specific order for that I learned from Sean and from Scott Schilling. And the reason you ask it in that order is one thing you learned, one thing you liked, you leave them in that heart place with the one thing you liked being at the end.
Yeah.
You leave them in their heart and you keep them there as they leave you. And that's so important because when you're speaking to someone's heart, it's totally different than their logical reasoning and how their brain's reacting. So that, I don't know why that stuck with me, but I was over here going, Sean's about to ask me. He's about to ask me. And that's what I was supposed to say. So for what it's worth, Jeremy, there you go.
Yeah, thank you. That makes sense. Thank you.
and so,
Yeah.
Here's what it really does, Jeremy. It makes it easier for me to be me. I don't have to be you. Right? So based upon your two answers, if I continue to provide this community, that's one thing you're going to enjoy learning through and learning from so that you can go do it. And if we have good conversations, that's what you liked. I give you what you learned and what you liked. I'm guessing you'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the value.
Yep. Outstanding. Moshe, good morning, Moshe.
Good morning, Sean. Good morning. So I have a question more towards like people who are aspiring, to start their own thing.
Yep.
And what have you seen like the shift of from when you started working in the business to people now starting their own businesses now? Like,
Well,
as
today they
far
have
as-
cars. I started with dinosaurs.
I like that one. So, basically the question I'm trying to ask is, what is your best advice to finding like the right people to invest in what you want to do?
Excellent. Find out somebody who wants to find the right thing for themselves, and then deliver them a solution that nobody else can.
Okay.
So somebody wants to start their business. So you've got, remember, we have to set the stage. Very few people go to a play not knowing what the play's about, unless they're dragging somebody because they got 2 tickets. Too many of us have 2 tickets to success, and we're dragging people who don't want success going, you got to come with me. I got a ticket for you. So Moshe, what I would say to somebody is I would ask them their questions. So what's the thing you need to get done in the next 7 days? Everybody knows they can see on their calendar what's eating their lunch in 7 days. Why would you?
Okay.
I mean, don't you want to do a 90-day plan? Heck no. I've never had a 90-day plan. I've never put my team through a 90-day plan. Why? Because they can't even get through 9 days without screwing it up. So why would I want to give them wait till day 89 and they go, man, I suck at this. They sucked on day 2, but nobody knew that they sucked on day 2 because we waited for 90 days for them to deliver their results. So I asked somebody, what's something you need to get done in 7 days? The next 7 days, all of you. I'd ask all of you, what's something you'd want to get done in 7 days? Because everybody can see 7 days. They got a payment due. They got a house payment due. It usually revolves around money.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pay for something. So the challenge is money is energy. They're not in the flow of energy. They're not in the flow of money. Your responsibility is to get them into the flow of money. The challenge is too many people don't want to swim. Right now, the biggest issue is the biggest lack. What you resist persists, and what everybody's lacking is money. So guess what the highest priority in life is? Money. It ain't about joy. It ain't about freedom. It ain't about getting your kid a trip to Disney. It's about freaking money. Money is flowing at a faster pace right now than it ever has. It's just not flowing to you. So how do we step in the flow of money? How do we teach people how to step into the flow of money? Some of your desires, listen, this is one's going to hurt. We've gotten down to 126 folks. So this one may knock a few more people off. Can I share with you another truth? If I can share with you another truth, type a T in the chat.
All of them.
Well, I'm just asking. Listen, listen carefully. I hope you're sitting down. I mean this with love. It's not that your desire isn't turned up and fired up. Your desire works. It's not that your desire sucks. It's that your plan sucks. Everybody has a desire to want to help, to give, to do. Everybody of you, your desires on a level of 11. It's your plan's not there.
I'm happy you said that, because it means that I'm on the right track.
Right. So if your plan's working, then keep doing it. So how do you spend time with the right people? I call it, they got to jump the red velvet rope. You know those places when you go to a club and you can't get in, but the sexy girls can get in, and the guy walks up and looks at his board and he goes, like he's looking at something. What he's looking at is, how many curves do you have, and will you get people to buy more drinks? Yep, go on, come on. And he opens the red velvet rope. I call it the red velvet rope of marketing. How do you get on the other side of that? How do you make them want to get on the other side of that? So give them some homework. Ask the questions that get them on the other side of the red velvet rope. Too many times we're trying to shove people past the red velvet rope and it never gets unlocked, and they're getting crushed. They've got to ask, they got to raise their hand. Can I get in? 3,000, almost closer to 5,000 people have been through this call in 454 episodes. 5,000 individual souls. Why aren't they all on this call right now? Because they're attracted to a shiny object someplace else. I haven't gone anywhere, but I ain't out searching for them. I'm here with my red velvet rope family. Y'all are on the inside.
So similar to like what you said the other day, almost like accepting that you bring the reward.
Listen,
You
I'm a
bring the
reward.
value.
I'm a fruit. God knows I'm a fruit. I'm a nut job. I'm somebody's special fruit. I'm somebody's special K. I'm somebody's, but I speak the way I speak, and you all resonate with that. Other people are like, well, yeah, but he just doesn't give us all of the how-tos. You can Google the hell out of how-to. How to do this, how to do that, how to do this. You know what you can't Google? You can Google everything about me. But you know what you can't Google about me? Is me. You know why I don't have blogs? Could you imagine me typing this shit up and you reading it? Would you get anything out of reading me? I write well. I write in good story. Half of it's spelled wrong. But I write well. But man, me live, ooh, that's when you get the real stuff. That's when you get the goods. So I can't do, and that's when I had my awakening, December 18th, 2018. I said, I'm getting out of my own effing way. I was wanting to do blogs. Could you imagine listening to a recording of me? That's just me and my, with a baffle up here that says, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Awakening. My name's Sean Murphy. Welcome to episode 454. Today, we're going to have a conversation about moving people forward. So what do you do? Well, I get asked all the time, what? And there's millions of people who listen to that. But you know what they're listening to? They're listening to the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I just decided to keep it real. Listen, until I started posting these lives on YouTube, because I thought I was going to be some super awesome jackass and have everybody show up in a mentorship, in a membership site. 200 hours, 14,000 minutes, people watched my channel last month. Now, 200 hours ain't a lot when you're talking about these kids who do gaming videos and they get millions of views. People invested, I wasn't even there, and they invested another 200 hours in me and in themselves.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's when we're providing service. Because listen, there's too many people out there saying they're a leader. I'm a leader. Well, who's following you? Oh, I'm sorry. You're just out for a walk. You ain't leading nobody. So how do you spend time with the right people? Set up some questions. Ask the same questions over and over and over to people. And you'll start to realize your vibe, and that'll create your tribe.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You bet, brother. Love you tons. Thanks for being here. Another new member to the Misfit community. First day he shows up, speaks like truth, and just, yeah, absolutely. Jessica. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, sunshine. You're muted still. There you go.
Hello, sorry.
Good morning.
Good
There's
morning.
a smile.
Oh,
You
no.
look beautiful, Jessica. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. How are we today?
Outstanding.
Good. Thank you so much for yesterday. Thank you. It helped a lot.
Thank you.
And funnily enough, yesterday, I went downstairs, watched telly, and there were people dancing. I kid you not. And then I listened to a playlist and it had loads of piano music in it. And I was like, God, what's happening now?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to shower. And then the next song had piano music. And I was like, God, what's happening? What is happening? And I was just smiling. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
So listen, I appreciate the thanks coming this way. I do. I'm honored that I could be a spark, but you lit the flame. Say thank you to yourself. Say thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah. Don't look up. Look at me. Look directly at me. And say, I want to thank me.
I want to thank me.
There you go. Did you just see she swallowed? Did y'all see, when you start to understand the micro expressions, she was just put into a state of panic. Now she's sitting there in her bed. She's clicking her pen. She's having fun. She's got this beautiful smile. Let me see that smile. Give me that smile. Give me that smile. I want to see the smile. There it is. But when you understand the micro expressions as a mentor, I know that I just put her into panic because I rewired stuff in her brain right now. She just rewired it, having to say it looking at me. What does Rhonda say? Go stand in front of the mirror. If you can do it naked, well, hopefully.
That's brave.
Yeah, that's a huge brave. But my point
is like
this.
Rhonda brave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. RB.
She's laughing.
She is laughing because she remembers. Never mind. So that's my sister. Here's the thing. If I didn't take you, if we didn't laugh, I needed to push you, right? Mentor teaches you how to do things you didn't know you could do. I had you say it, but then I took you out of that uncomfortable feeling. Remember, I'll always keep my promise.
Mm-hmm.
But you swallowed and you got a little nervous and you're like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I just said that. Maybe that's the first time you said that. I doubt it, but it might have been. It's scary as all bejeebies.
Yep.
Yep. So
It's
just know that.
scary.
But if you say it once, guess what happens? If you say it once, you can say it again and again.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
No, thank you, everyone. This family is like the best family. I've learned so much from everyone.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I think Moshe, is it Moshe?
Yes,
Am I saying it wrong?
Moshe. We all have a friend called Moshe, otherwise known as Moses. He was a basket
Moses.
case.
Rhonda's face. She's flapping. So I think he answered it, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably going to laugh because I'm asking the same question in a different way. But I wrote, how do you teach desire? Because everybody desires differently, I think.
So here's it's a great question. The way you teach desire is what Michelangelo, and somebody made this response up. When they ask Michelangelo, how did you make David? What's his response? I chippy away everything and not a David. The way you teach desire is you don't teach desire, you uncover it. You teach them that they have it by uncovering the things that are smothering it. So how do you teach desire? You teach desire. How did we teach you desire yesterday? Go stand at the bar and do your routines. Go hit a playlist and all of a sudden music's playing, piano music's playing. This is weird. We chipped away you not listening to the music. And we gave the music space, so therefore your desire kicked in yesterday.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
For example, if I say to someone, you already have these qualities and these values.
Yeah.
It's already there. Yeah. I'm just making you aware of them. Is that me? I'm adding value to them as a person, right?
So let's change the language. If it's already inside of them and you're making me aware of it, that means I'm going to need you.
Right. So that's wrong.
No, it's not wrong. But most people would say, but if I was here to teach you, I'd go, yes, that's perfectly right. Say that to everybody you run into. I'm here to help you find your desire. Well, if everybody is at a point in their life, let's just say there's a median in everybody's life. Some are up here, some are down here, but you're talking to somebody and you find the place where they're most comfortable. We call it their comfort zone. And they want to be around you. They want to elevate themselves. And you have a conversation with them and you get them motivated up to here. Jim Rohn says it best. Motivate an idiot. What do you get?
An idiot.
A motivated idiot. So we have to work on the inspiration.
Right.
So I'm here to help you find your desire is already inside of you. Oh, awesome. I'm here to help you find it. Oh, I can't find it on my own. They go back to they run the old story of they're not good enough. I need you. So what you might say differently is, you hear me ask questions all the time. So I might say something to the effect of, Jessica, do you remember those moments in life where you were absolutely on fire? And you told me when I was dancing. Did I tell you, listen, I think dancing gets your engine going.
Mm-mm.
that would have been a shot in the dark.
Mm.
But I asked you, what do you remember when you were fired up? You said, yeah, when I was dancing. I said, then here's my suggestion. Go to the bar. And all of a sudden, your energy started to change. So you started running the old programming that served you. Too often, we run the old program that doesn't serve us. And the way that I've helped you find your desires, I chipped away all of the crap you were telling yourself yesterday that wasn't serving you. And I wasn't going to put up with it. I don't need to listen to it. Because eventually one of it's going to run down your leg, across the floor, up this Zoom and up my mic and out my speakers and into my ear. And the two of us are going to be having a pity party before long.
Yeah, it's like dominoes.
So I'm listening for what's the thing that fires you up. And all of a sudden you come back this morning going, huh, I went downstairs and people were dancing. Did you create that show or did I? You did. Perfect timing.
I couldn't believe it.
God's plan works in perfect timing always. So you go downstairs and there's people dancing going, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then you go take a shower and there's piano music after piano music after piano music. Careful what you wish for, it will show up. The law of attraction works and it works instantly. Can we pay attention to it? Congratulations, where you were at yesterday when all of the dancing and the music was playing, it was your fault. You did it. You chippy away everything that's not Jessica, and Jessica showed up. So how do you do this? Say, listen, is it okay if you find your desire? My goal is to chip away the things that are keeping you from finding it, but you know what it is. You know what it is. You proved this yesterday. It was dancing. For somebody else, could be painting. For somebody else, could be bird watching. Listen, I haven't run into them, but for somebody, it could be farting. I'll do that long distance, by the way. Thank you very much.
Rhonda's face is making me laugh. No.
What's the thing on TikTok? I mean, come on. That's, people get, right? With somebody passing gas, it's like the dumbest thing, but yet people are still doing it. Well, I'm going to do this to my boyfriend or my husband. Yeah, we had to go to second grade. But see, the other thing that's important is that you help people do more of what you just did.
Yeah.
Laugh a little bit more. And you're good at that. You have a beautiful energy about you, an amazing smile. In your world, your voice may not be unique, but to every one of us here, it's exotic. So thank you. Does that help?
Yeah, it helps a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you.
One thing you learned, one thing you liked.
One thing I learned, one thing I like. Okay. Right. So, you know the book, The Purpose-Driven Life?
Yep.
I wrote that down. My notes are really weird. Like, they're all over the place. You seem to make my mind go crazy, but I've learned that. I've learned that I should maybe get that book and read it again.
Yeah.
One thing I liked, I liked that you had a go at the girl who said that she's not failed at her business yet, because I think it's so easy to say certain things, and you're attracting more failure by saying that. Does that make sense?
Well, and it's not the failure, it's the not quite good enough. Yeah. Because if it was failure, nobody would ever attract failure, but they attract their old story of I'm not quite good enough yet. So we use language that keeps us from not quite being good enough yet.
Yeah.
And when you hang out with people that hear that choose not to let you say that you've given permission to help you on your path to have more, do more, be more, all by doing less. See, all you had to do was walk downstairs and the video was playing with dancing. That was a whole lot less than you having to go read a book and buy a book and do journaling and talk to 15 people and grow your business. You just had to walk your beautiful curly hair downstairs and you saw people dancing.
And they were rubbish as well, by the way. They were so rubbish. Oh, it was
made you
like a dance competition and they were awful, but it was funny.
So there you go. I loved what you learned, what you liked. Thank you for being here, Jessica. I love you.
Thank you.
Love you tons. Hey. Let's go to, y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Y'all make sure you got your volume set just right, because what you're about to hear could change your day. Morning, Gigi. Good morning.
Oh, mommy.
Say it. Good morning.
So, thank you for your guidance yesterday because I needed it. And
Oh, hold on, hang on. Remember what you're going to remember.
Okay.
I need your subconscious to hear this.
Okay.
You're welcome for my guidance, but more importantly, what do you need to thank you for? Your action.
I
So,
didn't pat myself on the back yesterday.
good. So say Sean, thank you for your guidance, but I also want to thank me for my action. Say that for me.
Thank you for your guidance, Sean, but I also want to thank me for my actions.
Did y'all notice the micro expressions?
What did I do?
It's not what you did so much as when you told me, you were like this, Sean, thank you for your guidance yesterday, but I want to thank me for my actions. See, if you start to pay attention to these, you'll understand when people become when they start to believe their words or maybe not believe their words. So congratulations on your action, by the way, yesterday. Continue.
What was it? Yeah,
I know.
I did go on a walk and it helped me clear my mind a lot.
Excellent.
And I was able to kind of backtrack.
Yeah.
And that's why I praised myself, because I recognized early that something was wrong. And it only took 1 day for me to realize, okay, I'm not feeling good. Before it would took multiple days, and it would be a week of me laying in bed.
Yep.
And then I kind of realized I have been directing my energy more towards the things that I don't want instead of towards the things that I do want.
No, that's against all the rules. You weren't doing that. You rebel. We're all on our journey of joy and peace.
I'm growing. Okay? It's progress.
I love you.
I've come a long way. Okay.
You have.
But yeah, so it was if I just directed the energy that I'm focusing on what I don't want and focus on what I did want, I'd probably get what I do want instead of what I don't. Stop it.
It's a secret. Don't tell anybody that. What's the best place to hide a secret? Right in front of our faces. Yeah. Congratulations, Gigi. I'm proud of you.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I know. You should be, girl. Look at that hair. That hair's so proud. It's just standing up there like, yo, baby.
I did have a couple questions.
Okay.
So I started waking up at 3 a.m. again.
Yay.
I don't know what it is that won't allow me to get up.
Well, it's you. So think about this. What wakes you up?
I know it's not me.
Right. So what makes you not get up?
Me.
Yeah. So it just proves we're not ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to sleep tonight, say the part of me that wakes me up will get me up.
Okay. But then it's weird because when I feel it and I'm no, I'm not gonna get up, and I just lay back down, I'll start to feel.
Yeah, because the part of you that woke you up, the part of you that woke you up is going, what the hell? You asked for this. You told me to wake you up. I'm waking you up. And then you're telling me I'm not good enough? Oh, well, screw you. I'm going to give you the vibrations. I'm going to give you a cramp in your big toe. I'll get your butt out of bed.
And it's crazy because I've been asking for this.
Yeah.
But now I'm here. And
Careful
I'm
what you wish for.
I was I don't want to. I think it's the part of me that's scared to see things.
Yes.
But then my father told me when I was younger, I used to tell him I used to see things.
Yep. I see things all the time. Right now, I see this beautiful goddess who sits in front of me with fear and doubt. I'd ask her to go open the dang door and see that no one's there.
Yeah. And then it reminds me of the story of the boogeyman and how for the longest I would check to see if there's something there, or check and see if there's something under my bed. So it's I think about, oh my gosh, is it a demon? But then I'm I know it's not a demon. But then part of me is it might be a demon.
Mm-hmm. So and if it was, do you stand in the power that can deal with any demons?
Yes.
Yeah. So then what if it is? Did they have power over you? Oh, and by the way, you got an East Texas girl here. Did you see that? That was scary. That was almost scary. It looked like this. I looked up and it was. Yeah. What?
I heard the mic come off.
Yeah. You never heard Pink Robe sound so loud?
You starting to tread in my territory. So first of all, yes, you do. You do stand in that authority because I know you and I know the walk you're on. But the other thing that hit me was the question that Sean asked you when you were talking about that. Are you focused more on what you want or more on what you don't want?
Mm-hmm.
When you start going through that questions about the boogeyman story, what are you focused on?
What I don't want.
Exactly. And then that goes, so it hit me to, there's things that started downloading to me. I was, because I work one-on-one with Sean, I get some inside scoops on things and I get to hear some things. And last night he let me go through a training with him, and this will apply to what you're talking about in a sense. And I wrote some things down from his talk with Glenn Morshower, and he said people don't know what's available, and to live an extraordinary life you must use extraordinary measures. And then there was this one thing he said that really, really hit home besides that, was he used the word pursuit. And pursuit is a word that people use when they think they can't achieve. And he said it like this: do we pursue dinner? Do we ask people, hey, do you want to pursue dinner tonight? Or do we say, do you want to eat dinner tonight? Do you want to go to dinner tonight? Yes. Do you want to have dinner tonight? Yes. We don't say, do you want to pursue dinner tonight? And so some of what you're saying, Gigi, is exactly, it's what I feel at times. It's what everybody feels at times, is sometimes we don't know what is available to us until someone like Sean comes into our path and we see a reflection of, it's okay, Brittany, walk with me. We see a reflection of quite possibly what we want that we don't know it's available. And so for the first few times we listen to Sean, we sit in awe of Sean. And we're like, oh my gosh, he's amazing. And he is amazing.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
Stop it.
Zip it. www.zipit.com.
It's available. I know. It's available to all of us. That level of amazing ability is available to all of us. But sometimes we don't know it. And we'll say things in our language that keep us from it. And you talking about this and you go in the boogeyman and am I doing this? You're focused on what you don't want. And that's like saying we're pursuing success. You're never going to get it. You're going to always stay focused on what you don't want. You either do it or you don't do it. And it is available to you. And that's what Sean is telling you. And Gigi, you are walking through this like a goddess. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing because you're even already saying the things like, yeah, well, it used to take me months for that. Now it just took me a couple of days. And in a couple of hours, how does this? Like you're walking through this like crazy. There's no pursuit here. There is doing and having. And this is amazing. This is amazing how you're doing this. And it's staying focused on what you want. The reason that success happened quicker and you had a turnaround, because the way I measure success is the exact same way. It's not the goal is my success. It's how fast can I know I'm going to stumble. How fast can I get back up and go? I know I'm going to trip up, but how fast is it faster than I did last time? So it's exactly what you said. Staying focused on what you want instead of seeing the bright, shiny object of what you don't want. And oftentimes what we don't want looks bright and shiny because we know what it looks like. And what we really want, we don't know what it looks like. So it's hard to stay focused there. But the longer you stay focused there, that's when it's going to come rushing in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So Sean is that example. And then as we stand in the authority that God gives us, all that other, you can cast that aside. It's the same thing, and y'all gonna think I'm nuts. Some of y'all have already heard this, and that's fine. Y'all think I'm nuts. I'm in good company. In East Texas, apparently, for whatever reason, the storms seem to think when there's a tornado, they can start over my house these last 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure where they got that idea, but it's ending, because it's the same thing when you talk about staying in authority. When those storms start coming, y'all will find me out in the yard, and I will be looking up to the sky, and I will stand in the authority that I have, and I will tell them they have to go. And I'm done. It's the same thing when those thoughts come around, Gigi, that you were talking about, and you can stand in that authority, and you don't have to worry about what's under that bed. And there is nothing that is under that bed, because it can't stay there. So refocus back on what you want. How did you feel after that walk? What did it feel like? How light were you? And go back to that feeling, and go back into the now and the present. This is it. This is how I feel. Does that make sense? I don't know why all that came out, but there you go.
It makes sense, because when you were talking, especially when you talked about the storm, because this is kind of along those same lines, but there's been some like wildfires in our area. And when I seen the story on the news, I was like, oh my gosh. I prayed and I asked for rain. And tell me how it's May and it's not hurricane season yet, but there's like, oh, there's a tropical wave coming in. And I'm like, it's May, it's not hurricane season. So how is there a tropical wave coming in? And then I thought about it. I was like, oh my gosh, that was me.
Yes.
And then I got a little spooked.
Don't get spooked. Don't get spooked. Get thankful.
Yeah,
Get thankful. Yeah. You meant no harm by anything. And that's what I say. You can drop the rain all you want. You can't drop any harm.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stay focused on what I want. I want the rain. I want the nourishment for the earth. I want the trees and the flowers and everything to have what they want. Everything else has got to go. And then I remain focused. And it's the same thing when we're building a business, a family, raising a child, taking care of animals or whatever. I stay focused on what I want, and I let the rest of it go. Because it's what Sean says earlier. Your vibe attracts your tribe. If I vibrate at oh my gosh, what is going to happen? What's going to happen? All that's going to come rushing to me. The other way to say it is like spirit draws like spirit. So if you, at some point in time in your life, look up and there's a whole bunch of crappy people around, you probably need to go take a look in the mirror. Probably a bit crappy yourself.
Here's a question for you. If you stand in a place right now of everything that you've known and everything that you don't know, and you're facing the place of everything you don't know, what is possible in what you don't know?
Everything.
Everything.
So then why did we wind up becoming limited? Because we think the future.
We turn back to what we do know.
The future can only hand us what we know. And do we want what we already know, or do we want more? So then we wind up in pain because we're not in this moment. We are all standing at the frontier with our back to it. When we turn around, there ain't no boogeyman out there. You have been through hell in a handbasket before. You've already been through pain. The reason you turn back to the pain that you know is because you're expecting pain in the future. Careful what you wish for. Look at Jessica. She runs downstairs, people are dancing, and they were bougie. They weren't even good at it. But it made her laugh. And then she puts on a playlist that's playing piano after piano, concerto after concerto. And it's like, oh my gosh, what we ask for will show up. Careful where you're at. It's your fault. Good, bad, or otherwise. we can go into the science and all of the technology and quantum physics and quantum leaps and quantum mechanics and how your brain produces the chemicals and what your cells are all addicted to and what your grandparents went through and why you're living the same thing in a different year. You stand right now in a place of choice. You choose joy or you choose misery. What do you choose? Well, it can't be that simple. My mentor would say, you're right, I'm rich, let's move on. Go out and argue with the sun saying, I don't want the sun today. Go out and tell an earthworm, I need you to turn into a caterpillar. Go tell a caterpillar, run fast enough to fly. I want to see if you can go break the universal laws. And if you can't, then know that you can stand in this moment, turn towards the frontier and have anything you want. Before you went for a walk, did you have a walk inside you? Gigi?
The
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You can't go for a walk and it not be inside you. Is there a walk inside you right now?
Yes.
Do you decide to use it or not? That's up to you. Is there joy inside of you?
Yes.
Do you decide to use it?
Yes.
Okay, so that means misery has to go take a walk. And what's misery going to do as it leaves you? But Gigi, you and I are friends. You and I are friends. We've been friends for years. You can stand right next to me. Joy stands right next to you all the time going, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Sit up.
Misery can't sit with me.
What's that?
The misery can't sit with me.
Well, no, it doesn't have to sit with you when it's inside of you.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah? Because if you were joy, would you sit the way you're sitting? Show me how you would sit if you were in joy. Oh, I really don't like Sean at all.
I gotta think about this. I don't know. How would
I know, exactly. How would you see your body's straight now? It's not tilted and curved and all of these things and making you small. Get big. How would you sit if you were in joy? If you were in 100%, let's just say you got $1 million lottery winning check coming to you. How would you sit? What would your face look like?
I'd probably be like,
There you go. There you go. So you'd be relaxed a little bit. You just found the love of your life. The love of your life just said yes to having a conversation with you. How excited would you be?
I would be extremely
excited. Just got invited to go on a private yacht or a cruise or a helicopter or a walk on the beach to do the thing you've always wanted to do. How would you sit? You wouldn't even be on screen. You'd be vibrating so big.
We're probably jumping for joy.
Yeah. So start jumping because you have that joy in this moment. You want it, start bringing it to you. Yeah, that sounds like real joyful to me. Right.
No.
Yeah, sounds like a sack
I'm listening. No, I believe
you. Show me joy. Show me joy. Get your body, change your chemical energy. What's joy sound like to you?
Ooh, this is different.
Yes. Now we're working into joy. Oh, I'm in joy. Yeah, I'm pure joy. Well, then tell your face, I'm in pure joy. No. I'm good. I'm good. Am
I not transparent? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Who you are speaks so loud. I don't need to hear what you're saying. Oh, yeah, I'm in joy. I'm in full joy right now. I'm in so much joy. I could probably go to the bathroom.
Oh gosh.
Joyful. What does joy sound like to you?
I don't want to yell.
Yeah, well, then just make believe. Give me it with do the silent version.
Yeah.
Now, but give me the face that goes along with it.
They do.
That looked like somebody had you by your feet trying to pull you under the water.
Yay! That's what I really look like.
Yes. Stop drowning! I'm in joy! Ah!
Ah! Okay.
Your body feels different, doesn't it?
Yes, I feel hot.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're working up joy. You're burning off doubt. So there you go.
Thank you.
You bet.
It's not what I came here for, but I'll take it.
Well, if you came here for what you wanted, you might be a little sadder than when you started.
I probably will.
Gabby's asking, what are you doing why is he making all those noises? Because I am in 7th grade. Yeah. It gets your attention. Thank you, Gabby, for paying attention. By the way, Gabby's going to serve our military, and she's an amazing young soul, the daughter of Monique. So just thank her in your prayers. Thank her in your conversations, and just send her some love in your thoughts or here and listen. Hey, good morning, Monique.
Hey, you have her cracking up over here. She's like, what in the heck is he talking about?
We're talking about how to become unconstipated in joy.
Either way, you've got us smiling for sure.
Awesome. I appreciate y'all. I'm about 11 minutes late for a meeting, but you know what? They'll wait because they asked me. I didn't ask them. RBP, what would you say to wrap us up this morning?
I would say, what kind of laxative do you need to release joy? That would be my question.
Yep.
Find your laxative for joy.
Sean, can I say something real quick?
Yes, you can, Shammy. Good morning, Shammy. I love Shammy. Shammy was playing with her baby yesterday and tickling her.
Yeah. Good morning. I wanted to say real quick, you know that the day before when I had that like releasing moment outside, I didn't really scream. And then last night before going to bed, my baby started like just the little one, the 1-year-old just started screaming for no reason. I'm trying to put her to sleep and she's screaming. And I literally had the thought, you know what? I didn't scream before. Let me scream now. And I joined her and we had a screaming party and it felt so good. And we went to sleep. So I went to sleep. Like it felt amazing.
When listen carefully. We are locked up at a primordial level. Our alligator brain has us in a protection mode. And when we do primordial things like scream, like cry, like just engulf ourselves in energy, we start to unlock the primordial sense of who we are. So
yeah, that first time outside, it was a release, but I even told Rhonda, it's just the beginning. I knew it wasn't all. And then yesterday was a little bit more, and then I'll find like a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yep. And you're starting to chippy away everything that's not shammy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you all. I'm Sean Murphy, founder of Mental Profits. I'll see y'all where?
Love everybody.
At the next event. Y'all send some love to each other.
Love you all. Have a great day, Miss Fish.
Guys, I have a question.
Everybody.
Love you all. Hey guys, I have a question for you.
See you tomorrow.
Love y'all. Have a great day.
Guys, I have a question.
Bye.